William Bradford, speaking in 1630 of the founding of the Plymouth Bay Colony, said that all great and honorable actions are accompanied with great difficulties, and both must be enterprised and overcome with answerable courage. If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred.
From the NBC News Election Center in New York, here are Tom Brokaw and John Chancellor.
Good evening and welcome to NBC News' coverage of the 1980 presidential election. Our team of correspondents, analysts, pollsters, and commentators is assembled here in New York and around the country to see if Jimmy Carter can win re-election or if Ronald Reagan will be going to the Oval Office. We have been polling around the country in the key states, NBC News and the Associated Press, and what we're learning in the key states is that makes us believe that Ronald Reagan will win a very substantial victory tonight.
I promised you 4 years ago that I would never lie to you, so I can't stand here tonight and say it doesn't hurt.
I want to be a veterinarian because I like to help animals. I want to be a fireman so I can save people and put out fires. I want to be a teacher. I don't know. I want to be an astronaut.
I guess the one thing I really wanted to be when I was a kid is a pilot.
To play on Knight Rider.
I used to go out to the Blue Earth Airport and watch planes take off. If I could only be a pilot.
Are you ready?
I've come here today because I care about my country.
And I ask you to come with me.
To set sail towards America's destiny.
A better life for all who will work for it, and a better future for the next generation.
So today we call for a new patriotism.
For a president who will turn this country in a new direction.
I want to lead a process of renewal in America.
And I believe in opportunity.
An era of opportunity greater than anything any generation of Americans has ever known.
What do you call me? Why do you go out with me and run late? You are someone I respected for some time. You, I cannot see without my mind. Whoa, yeah. Whoa.
All over America, I see empty factories. The dashed hopes and dreams of working people all over this country. When I look around and I see this empty factory here, I see the legacy of George Bush's economic policies.
Balancing the budget and reforming government.
Good evening. Tonight we're going to talk about how to solve the problems that we defined that face our country. I think we can come to the conclusion immediately with this quote. History repeats itself. The budget should be balanced. The treasury should be refilled. Public debt should be reduced. The arrogance of public officials should be controlled. These are not new words. Cicero said these words over 2,000 years ago, but certainly they apply to our country today.
Excuse me, everybody.
There we go.
Hi, young lady.
Hi.
What's your name?
Destiny.
Destiny. What a wonderful name. Boy, are we glad to meet you.
You're 8 years old. Do you like Mr. Clinton?
Yeah.
Why do you like him? It's okay.
I think the press is real confused about its role now, and that's not surprising because I think a lot of people in America are confused. Business leaders are trying to figure out how to be more competitive, and they're having to undo the thinking of, decades. Workers and labor leaders are trying to figure out how to save jobs but enhance productivity. I mean, we'd go down the line. Everybody's trying to redefine their role.
Governor, if you could walk up a bit and then slowly walk back towards us.
And then we want you to do it on rollerblades.
Nils, could you start a little further back? Just up.
You know what he's saying? What the hell am I doing, mister? That's good.
Okay. Right.
New Hampshire, a landscape of wintry beauty. A battleground for those who would be president. For the many disenchanted and disillusioned voters, that means New Hampshire also would be the first state to be lied to.
Well, those famous words, we're from Washington, we're here to help you.
The economy today.
The economy.
The economy.
It's just too hard to make a living.
I think we should be providing them jobs. That's what the hell it's all about, period. Jobs.
It isn't going to move unless you challenge it frontally. And that's the whole basis of
Democrats early on bring up a touchy offshoot of the economic issue, health care.
I mean, you got 5 people here in midlife crises trying to make their point about what health care should be.
You could say it started in the supermarket. That's where the sensationalist tabloid The Star is sold. The newspaper reports that Bill Clinton has had extramarital affairs, 5 of them. The allegations are based on a 1990 suit filed by a fired Arkansas State employee, Larry Nichols.
Voters know that the Star and the National Enquirer and all those places are garbage. I mean, this is a guy that got fired for making illegal phone calls on state money.
Even though this is supposed to be the straight, strictly issues campaign, the charge of adultery instantly dominates.
Is it something that's going to be dogging you through the campaign, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I think if something like this comes up, it's plainly false and it's been demonstrably untrue, I'll be glad to say.
But the general subject material, as you know, is something
I've
that is
addressed
not
that
new.
too. I'm not prepared tonight to say that any married couple should ever discuss that with anyone but themselves.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Bill Clinton.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, I tried to call you. I can't believe I got you.
Well, when did you try to call me?
Last night, late?
Well, I was there.
I started calling as soon as I got home last night, and I called for a couple hours.
Times are hard. I need a job.
I've been laid off since September.
You're applying for a position in room service.
People are dying in the streets because of homelessness. It's not easy. If you get sick out here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out here in the same situation.
Thank you. New Hampshire tonight has made Bill Clinton the comeback kid.
Hello, Washington.
3 more days, I think we'd have won the whole thing.
Right. Yeah, right. This is New Hampshire calling. Are you listening?
I understand how to create a job and the difficulty of creating a job. Paul Tsongas has never created a single job.
Washington, we are sending you a message.
I don't believe the Democratic Party, the party of Roosevelt and Kennedy and Carter, will nominate Paul Tsongas, a pro-nuclear business lobbyist.
And answer the phone and tell George Bush he cannot concede till November.
The Democrats in Washington are saying that there is still time and space for other Democrats to jump into this race. What's your response to that?
Well, if they want to come in, let them come in. I mean, they presume that I was not viable, that Bill Clinton was not viable. If they think a Washington insider is going to come in and rescue the country from us, then I think they have a very different perspective. That's why people hate Washington. That's the arrogance that Washington exhibits that people find offensive.
I believe that there is so much waste around here. And again, every time you get into, see, I'm the only guy that talks numbers. I love this. Nobody else will even talk about it. As I've said, it's like a crazy ant in the basement. Everybody knows she's there, but nobody talks about her. I'm talking about it. Then I can talk, with endless numbers about it. And then when I finish, typically the establishment press said, he didn't tell us enough. I'd just break up. Nobody else said anything, and I haven't said enough. Let me just talk in general terms today, since no matter how many numbers I give the press right now, it doesn't satisfy them. Number one, we cannot spend our children's money. We are looking on the edge of a revolution of young people who are starting to realize that we, our generation, have put them $4 trillion in debt, and they don't like it, and they shouldn't. Don't we love our children as much as our parents loved us?